every single hour. So many disasters happen around the world, but some are
so famous and disturbing
that you might have actually lived through one without even realizing it. Today, we're diving into the most disturbing and shocking disasters ever. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay safe, lilies. So this first incident we're exposing is called
the Pompeii incident.
Most of you watching have only lived around 6 to 14 years, but this incident happened 1,946 years ago. A volcano near Pompeii exploded and unalived 20,000 people. It froze the whole city in place, and it's still there today. I'll show you the real pictures after this explanation, lilies.
The Pompeii eruption was way more horrifying than you thought, and was far worse than what you learned. But why? First off, you would have zero warning signs. At the time, the city of Pompeii had no idea they were living next to one of the deadliest volcanoes in the world, thinking it was just a mountain, not realizing pressure was slowly building up inside over the past 700 years it lived there. And on a normal day in 79 AD, you would suddenly feel the ground violently shaking, followed by one of the loudest explosions in history, nearly blowing out your eardrums. Mount Vesuvius has erupted, where smaller towns near the base of the volcano were instantly vaporized and killed by 900-degree gases. But all the way in Pompeii, you wouldn't even realize what's about to happen. Looking in the sky, seeing a massive cloud of smoke and ash filling the air. But surprisingly, many didn't run, staying in the city thinking they were at a safe distance. When only 10 minutes later, everything would instantly go pitch black. Ash and smoke traveling hundreds of miles per hour coated the city in seconds. People were immediately blocked inside their homes, literally turning their houses into ovens. In only minutes, buildings collapsed and streets were covered in ash taller than you, making it impossible for you to run away in time. The sound of debris and ash was also extremely loud, like a constant hissing, making it extremely hard for you to communicate in the darkness. Within minutes, hundreds of people already suffocated. But it gets worse. If you still somehow survived, only a few hours later, a wave of superheated gas over 500 degrees swept the city at 100 miles per hour. Even if you were safe inside your home, you would instantly start choking on the air and suffocate from burning hot gas in your lungs. Where in a matter of one day, the entire city of Pompeii and all areas in the region were gone, taking the lives of over 16,000 people.
Oh my goodness, that must have been disturbing. But lilies, the volcano is still there, and it basically turned into a mountain. I found a video of someone actually climbing it, so let's see what it looks like. So basically, the lava hardened into stone. Just like when you play Minecraft, if you add a lava bucket and water, you get obsidian, which is why it became a mountain. Here are some pictures of the bodies they found. This will probably never happen to us, so we're good lilies. But if you live next to a volcano, you might be cooked. Literally lol. Shout out to this cool fan I met. I'm sure everyone watching this video knows this next disaster, the Titanic disaster. You've heard about it in school or on TV, but the real truth is way more disturbing than the simple story everyone repeats. It's hard to explain, so my friend does a great job with it, lilies.
The Titanic was a lot more horrifying than you thought, and was far worse than what you learned. But why? First off, you would be sleeping when it hit the iceberg, waking up to a loud bang and shake in the middle of the night, and at first you wouldn't even realize what happened. Most people going back to sleep thinking nothing of it.
Why would they go back to sleep?
When only 20 minutes later, you would start to hear commotion in the halls, being told to go to the top deck immediately. Still in your night clothes, thinking it was some kind of drill. At this point, the crew already knew the ship was going down, but you wouldn't even know it yet, only feeling a very slight tilt in the ship. On the top deck, they would try to keep you distracted by playing music while slowly releasing safety boats to prevent panic, where only women and children could escape first. But as time moved on, the tilting grew much worse, where people on the bottom deck would start to see water flowing through the halls and rooms, standing in a large crowd for over an hour waiting to hopefully get a lifeboat. But as the clock neared around 2 a.m., a slow realization would take place that there's not enough safety boats for everyone. At this point, the entire ship would go into a full panic, needing to fight against the crowd to try to get onto the last few boats. Within the panic, the ship would tilt even more, causing the power to go out, which would be pitch black since there was no moonlight on that day. At around 2:18, the tilt would become so extreme it would eventually cause the ship to snap in half.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Many people flying off or being hit by debris, and if you somehow stayed on the ship, it was now rapidly sinking, where your only choice was to either dive into the pitch black 28 degrees water trying to find a lifeboat, or stay on the ship slowly being lowered into the water, freezing to death.
Oh my god, that's crazy, lilies.
Hello,
the ship
how
is
are
still
you?
underwater
I'm under
today,
the
but at
water.
least they found its location and recovered some of the people's bones. Modern cruise ships are way safer now, and some even have helicopters ready for emergencies. Comment down below if you've ever gone on a cruise ship. This next disaster is a fan favorite and super popular on TikTok. It's called the 𝗃cie hijacking. Basically, there was a pilot whose plane got hijacked while he was flying, and Lily's, it was so epic because he pulled off a genius move. It's hard to explain, so let's just watch this video together.
A man stood up from his seat and ran up the aisle towards the cockpit. As he was running, two other men also stood up and followed him closely towards the front of the plane. As they ran past the passengers, the men shouted to everybody aboard to stay seated at all costs, because they had a bomb. When they arrived at the cockpit door, they slammed it open and confronted the two pilots. They told the pilots that there were 11 hijackers on board, and that they wanted to fly across the globe immediately. Almost immediately after the plane was hijacked, the captain of the aircraft, Mr. 𝗂𝗂𝗃, had a few things running through his mind. You see, Mr. 𝗂𝗂𝗃 had flown well over 11,000 hours in his time as a pilot, and in those 11,000 hours, he had extraordinarily survived 2 other hijacked planes as a pilot. Now, the odds of getting hijacked 3 times is a ridiculous anomaly, and since Mr. 𝗂𝗂𝗃 had dealt with hijacks in the past, he likely remembered some significant details about what was going on. However, there would be a bit of a problem this time, because no matter what Mr. 𝗂𝗂𝗃 remembered, this hijack would be a bit different.
Lily, this had over 100 million views on TikTok. The epic part is coming up, so lock in.
But for some reason, the hijackers weren't having it. They had reportedly read on an in-flight magazine on the plane that the type of Boeing 767 they were on could fly a max capacity of 11 hours.
Did he just say 6-7?
To the hijackers, Mr. 𝗂𝗂𝗃 was lying to get an emergency landing. Mr. 𝗂𝗂𝗃, however, refuted strongly and insisted that he wasn't lying, showing the men that the fuel indicator on the plane only indicated enough for a flight to Kenya. But still, the hijackers did not care and continued to threaten Mr. 𝗂𝗂𝗃, saying that if he didn't meet their demands, they would do the job. Pilots in these situations are trained to be able to land aircraft in such off-putting circumstances. And on top of this, because 𝗂𝗂𝗃 had stalled the hijackers by talking to them for so long, instead of just turning out into the empty Indian Ocean, which would have certainly been fatal, he was now far enough south that he could now turn out into the Mozambique Channel, which was filled with islands where he might be able to land. So when 𝗂𝗂𝗃 originally turned left towards Australia, he made the calculated decision to fly towards an island he had never even seen before, the Comoros, a small group of volcanic islands in the Mozambique Channel near Madagascar. He figured that once the hijackers saw the plane running out of fuel, he could convince them to let him glide the plane and land there.
This was absolutely crazy. Unfortunately, 125 out of the 175 people on board were unalived when the plane crash landed into the ocean, but Mr. 𝗂𝗂𝗃 somehow survived. Lilies, comment down below what you would have done if you were in there. So I'm going to start off with a kind of happy incident, Lilies. It's called the
Dylan Reeves incident.
Basically, a school bus driver was having a medical emergency while driving and couldn't control the bus anymore. But then Dylan came in clutch and saved everyone before it crashed. It's actually a really inspiring story, so this video explains it well.
It was end of day for students at Carter Middle School in Warren, Michigan. But for those on bus 46 that April afternoon, it was the beginning of an unforgettable ordeal.
All of a sudden, the brake slammed. We all were terrified and shocked.
I looked up and saw him.
7th grader Dylan Reeves had grabbed the steering wheel. The officer went on to explain, and security footage shows how Dylan noticed the driver was having a medical emergency and immediately sprang from his seat.
I just knew what to do in that moment. The bus was swerving off the road.
So Dylan took the wheel, hit the brake, and gained control of the situation, saving driver and the students.
So basically, everyone else on the bus was just watching TikTok or playing games on their phones, which is why Dylan was the only one who actually noticed the driver was in trouble. Honestly, I probably would have noticed too, because I don't really use my phone that much on the bus. Anyways, always take a quick peek at what your bus driver is doing just to stay safe, Lilies. Have you guys ever heard of a school shooting? Well, this next incident is called
The Oxford High School incident.
Basically, there was a school shooter going around slamming on classroom doors, pretending to be a cop so he could trick students into opening them. He was trying to get inside to unalive everyone. The crazy part is they actually recorded it on camera. But luckily, the students were super smart and realized he wasn't a real cop, so they broke a window and ran out to safety. I did some digging on the dark web and found the real video of it caught on camera, so let's watch it together.
said it's safe to come on.
Now, we're not willing to take that risk right now. I can't hear you. We're not taking that risk right now. Okay, well, come to the door. Look at my man, bro.
Yeah, bro.
He said bro.
He said bro. Red flag.
Go. Why are you guys go? Slow down, you're fine.
You're gonna go right out there. Slow down. I want you to drop backpacks. You're okay. We're okay. Drop your backpacks. Still. Christy? Yes.
That was actually insane, Lilies. The teacher was a total hero for not opening that door. Like seriously, he saved everyone's life. If I was there, I would have screamed, grabbed my backpack, and jumped out that window so fast. But here's the craziest part. The guy banging on the door wasn't even the shooter. I know, what? I found a video that exposes what really happened, so let's check it out.
So apparently it was an actual officer and not Ethan Crumbley trying to get in this classroom during the Oxford High School tragedy. So if you remember during this video, somebody claiming to be an officer tries to get into their classroom. Well, the high schoolers refuse to let them in and then flee out through the window after the person at the door uses the word bro.
He said bro.
He said bro. Red flag.
Why are you guys
Well, all of the high schoolers in the video and everybody on social media thought that it was Ethan Crumbley at the door pretending to be an officer. Apparently that's not the case though, as it was just confirmed it was an actual officer at the door.
Why would the officer even say, bro? That's suspicious.
In a recent press conference, the Oakland County Sheriff revealed that it was likely a plainclothes officer at the door and definitely not Ethan Crumbley. Regardless, I still think that the high schoolers reacted perfectly given the situation.
So this is what the shooter looked like. He ended up unaliving 4 of his classmates and injuring 7 others. Lilies, if you ever notice anyone at school acting suspicious or carrying a weapon, report it to a teacher right away so they can alert the police and prevent anyone from getting hurt. So this next incident is really creepy. It's called
The school figure incident.
I'm sure everyone's used a school bathroom before. Some of them are just disgusting. Like, one time I saw someone smear actual poop on the wall because there wasn't any toilet paper. But this story is about a girl who was attacked by a creepypasta known as
The bathroom figure.
That thing unalived her and stuffed her body inside a school vent. Lilies, there's even real footage of it, so let's watch this explanation first.
This might be the scariest thing that ever happened to somebody at school. There was a young girl who was sitting in class one day. She desperately had to go to the bathroom, so right when class finished, she ran to the bathroom immediately. When she got there, she noticed all the stalls were empty. She then got in the first one and locked the door behind her. As soon as she sat down in the toilet, she heard a very strange noise. She then looked down and was shocked to see a pair of men's shoes standing outside the stall door. The man was standing perfectly still and didn't say a single word.
Oh my god, I would scream if that was me.
The girl was frightened and thought, why was there a man in the girl's bathroom and why was he standing so close to my door? He seemed to be waiting for her to finish, but all the other stalls were open. She began to panic and a chilling feeling ran down her spine. Suddenly, the girl looked up and screamed. There was a freakishly tall man looking over the stall door with a sinister smile on his face. Later that day, the girl's body was found stuffed in a vent with blood pooling on the outside of it.
I wonder if her school got shut down after that. I tried searching online but couldn't find any real info about it, so I'm not sure if it's actually real. But I did find a real video showing something that looks just like that creepypasta. So let's check it out.
If you ever feel watched in a public restroom, this could be why. A college student from Mexico was using the restroom when he begins to hear someone banging on one of the stall doors. Knowing for sure no one should be there since he didn't hear anyone come in, and all the stalls were empty before going in, he begins to look around and makes a terrifying discovery.
Pero ahorita están ruidos raros y se está tocando la puerta, pero quiero que vean que pues no hay nada. Vean, ahí está mi reflejo, pero vean de este lado, pues aquí no hay nada, vean. Acá tampoco, vean. Tampoco hay nada.
This isn't related, but wow, those bathrooms are dirty.
As he looks in the stall where the banging sound came from, through the door gap, the clear face of a person can be seen. But as he looks inside, no one's there.
What the flip is that?
Did Axel capture some sort of ghost or spirit in that restroom? Let me know what you think.
Did you guys see that? Oh my goodness. I also found another video. It's not scary, but you've got to see this one.
I just think your attention. Shit, what about? I think I'm
me a second, I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the bathroom getting fire in the Empire State. My lovers.
I laughed so hard I couldn't breathe for like 10 seconds. Don't worry, lilies, I'm still alive, but that video was hilarious. As for the creepypasta, don't worry about it. It only happened at one school, so we're safe. Because this next teacher was the worst and she gave her students very disturbing punishments. This video explains it well.
One day, a class had a substitute teacher, and as the day went on, the substitute's behavior became increasingly weird. She was making the kids draw dead people who were cut open with a knife. The substitute would also start putting her hands around some of the kids' necks and squeezing hard, and then begin screaming things about Jesus. All the kids became afraid of her, and a group of brave students managed to sneak out of the class and go to the principal's office and tell them about the substitute.
As you guys can see, lilies, that's exactly what I would do if my teacher made me draw those disturbing stuff.
The principal came to the classroom not long after, and when he saw the drawings of dead people, he tried to get the substitute out of the classroom, but she refused. The principal then grabbed the substitute and tried to pull her out of the classroom, but then she started to bite his face and then took a big chunk off of his cheek.
Ew, lilies, what the flip, that's so weird and shocking. It literally made me stop what I was doing when I saw that.
After this, the principal called for backup, and the substitute was dragged out of the classroom by multiple people. A few days later, all the kids' parents were called into the school for a meeting, and the school then explained that the substitute teacher was a psychopath and that she should have never been hired in the first place. Luckily, none of the students were hurt from this teacher, but sadly, the principal got his face bitten off.
Oh my goodness, this is so disturbing. I cannot believe that the school hired that crazy teacher, so watch out, lilies. Anyway, if you made it this far, comment down below what the worst incident was. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to stay safe. Goodbye, lilies.